What up, dude? Wow. Week
What up,
6
man?
already. I said that last week. How it was crazy. It was already week 5, and like now it's week 6.
We'll just say it every week because every week it goes faster and faster.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, it's already the end of the year. But no, week 6, man. Last week, a little recap. My team was off. Michigan was off. Notre Dame, though, that was our podcast play of the week, minus 3.5, 4.5, whatever it was. And you got to be happy with what you saw from the people that's on your T-shirt right now.
Yeah, no, super happy. I feel like we should provide a little context for how we got there, though. We want to talk about the old Washington debacle. I feel like it's worth bringing up.
What are you talking about?
Washington's my pick of the week. Put him
No,
on the
no,
card.
no. Relax. You know, I'm just a hater, man. Like, I'm not a hater, but any chance I get to, like, root against Ohio State, like, in a real way, I take it, and I have to take it. But when we were talking about our picks of the week, and there was a couple that I wanted to take, and then you said that one. You said the Notre Dame game is kind of like rang a bell or a little light bulb. Like, I was very confident in Notre Dame. I took them to cover on my picks, and I just felt it was a great spot. I didn't think Arkansas was great. They're always irrelevant in the SEC, and just Notre Dame they needed that game more than anybody and needed it more than anything. So that's really what made me switch. And it's not because I was not as confident in Washington, and like I put my real money on this stuff. Like the pick of the week, I put my real money on it.
Oh, of course.
So I have to make a business decision. So that's where that came from. But yeah, talk about your. I mean, you're hard to please as a sports fan. But tell me what you liked and what you didn't like in Notre Dame's game last week.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. I'd say hard to please is fair assessment. But it was solid. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They 6 drives to start the game, 6 touchdowns. It's definitely not a bad way to start the game. Defense, I feel like, turned the corner a little bit, even though some of it was on Arkansas just not executing. They had drops on third downs that would have led to chunk plays, but it's part of the game. And they capitalized off of it, so you can't ask for much more than that. The offense was just unreal. I said last week I don't think they'd be able to stop Jeremiah Love or Price, either of them, let alone both, and they didn't. Those guys are unreal. I really think I'd go as far as to say that they might really be 2 of like the top 5 backs in the country. It's starting to get to that point.
Wow.
And they've played comp. You can't really say who have they played. I think both of those guys have showed what they can do against a good competition and against bad when they're supposed to do it. They're unreal. And CJ Carr, probably going to put a future on him at the beginning of the year next year for Heisman because, my God, he is just that guy.
I mean, some of the throws he was making, I could only watch the first half because I had to go to work. But, I mean, you're right. Like, he is unreal. Like, the throws he was making, like, the timing was perfect. The one, I saw a couple he threw on the sideline in between 2 guys. Like, he was just, I mean, he threw for 354 and 4 touchdowns. He didn't turn it over.
Yeah,
and
there was
obviously,
a specific throw he had. They were on the right hash, and he threw it to the field, and it was just a simple little curl route. I mean, I feel like 90% of college quarterbacks probably throw it for a pick 6. I mean, he put it high and outside to where defender can't break down on it and get to it. Receiver caught it, turned upfield, outside. It just kind of knocked me back a little bit like, wow, this guy's actually the truth.
no, I agree. And then, obviously, like you said 2 of the top 5 backs. I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I don't know if I'd go that far. But they're definitely.
That's high. But
I think it's the best 1-2 punch in the country for sure. And then you go to the weapons on the outside, though, with Faison and Fields and even Greathouse. Like, I loved Greathouse, especially for what he did in the playoff last year. But still, he only had 2 catches for 32 yards last week. And, like, I just still feel like they got to find ways to get him the ball one way or another. I'm not a coach. I never will be a football coach. But, like, what the hell, man? Like, where is Jaden Greathouse at? But when you do, Jeremiah Love catches the ball, too, and can make plays. But
yeah. I mean, they're sending him out on corner routes downfield. I don't know. They're just trying to get him the ball any way possible.
as they should.
Oh, for
he
sure.
needs the ball.
For sure.
And he showed why he needs the ball. What do you have, 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns?
He had 4 touchdowns in the first half, 2 on the ground and 2 receiving. He's nuts, man. He just is unreal. He had the touchdown catch where he caught it in the backfield and just spun off that guy. Most running backs probably get blown up on that play.
Yeah.
That's why it's just frustrating the way they started. I mean, you feel like if the defense can just, kind of start off with where they're at now, they're in a lot different situation record-wise, and I feel like C.J. Carr and Jeremiah Love would be more of a national story than they already probably are.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, their strength of schedule, they haven't been playing cupcakes at all with Miami and Texas A&M. But I don't know, man. Notre Dame's defense still, it's just, I don't
That's
know
what
yet.
I'm saying. Like, yeah, they look great. They only gave up 13, but early in that game, man, there was like 2 third-down drops I saw for Arkansas that would have turned into big plays. And it's just like, okay, where you at? You know, running backs just running free out of the backfield, and quarterback Taylor Green didn't hit him. I don't know.
What's crazy is you do look at the box score. We know we talk about not being box score watchers, but we both watched the game. Like Arkansas had 365 yards and only had 13 points to show.
I mean, they had the
That's-
one drive. They had the one drive where I think they were racking up probably 6-7 yards of carry. And they ran it right down Notre Dame's throat. It was on a scoring drive.
Well, I know. That's when I think, I don't know if I texted you or texted in the group chat. I cannot stand to watch teams not be able to stop the run and not be able to get off the field on third down, especially when I bet on them.
I know.
There's nothing that boils my blood more than not stopping the run and not getting off the field on third down. But it ended up working out.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, I feel like we saw with Penn State. Penn State's in the same place as they always are. Their defense is solid, solid every year. But their offense just has no juice. Never has. I feel like it never will under James Franklin. But that's like the one thing I am optimistic with Notre Dame about is that last year their defense was rock solid and they couldn't really throw the ball or have like a consistent offense week in and week out. This year is completely opposite. I think they can score 40 on just about anybody, minus a few teams. But their defense just needs to turn the corner and try to get back to where they were, which I feel like is easier to do over time. So when I compare those two teams and look at those situations, I do think we're on the better side of that. I don't know. It's just tough. It's just not a great ideal start to the season.
Yeah, but what I do like about making these picks and looking at Notre Dame going forward is, I mean, everyone wants to win every game, obviously, but the sense of urgency that Notre Dame has now to really improve every week and really win every week is at an all-time high. So that's why I do like them. And with that, we could just go ahead and get into the Boise matchup.
He faked a punt up like 40. They were up like 42-13, and he faked a punt.
They're not pissing around in South Bend anymore, and they shouldn't be.
No, he said after Marcus Freeman after the game, he said, please don't call it garbage time. He said every snap of football counts.
And I like that. I like a coach saying that when I've been thinking about taking his team to cover these spreads. I like to hear that every snap counts. But with that being said, with the Boise matchup this week, we might as well just go get right into it, and you can obviously start off. What are you thinking about this? What are they, 19.5? Or I think it went up to 20.5 since an hour ago, to be honest with you. I can double check real quick, but yeah, it's 20.5 now.
They opened it even lower than 19.5 I saw. It's just been going up as the week goes on, and for good reason. I feel like Vegas does this to themselves. Well, they definitely did it last year after NIU game, kind of giving them unrealistic spreads that they can easily cover. I'm going to take them to cover it. Like you said, they got to play with urgency. Their offense going to score probably 40 on everybody before they even think about taking starters out. So probably a little bit of that. Throw the ball around to Malachi Fields, keep him going, and then just keep building the Jeremiah Love Heisman resume because they're going to keep going for it, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but I kind of thought he was going to have that really breakout Heisman game against A&M, which didn't end up happening. A&M is also obviously a lot different opponent than Arkansas was, and that Boise State will be this weekend. But I agree. I have on here, like, Notre Dame's offense it's unreal. Like, the way they can score and the different varieties they can score in. Boise's 75th in the country in total points on defense. Not great, not horrible. Notre Dame's 99th, but obviously their strength of schedule is a lot different from who Boise has played. Boise's offense is pretty balanced. I mean, I think they can run just as good as they can pass. They don't have a strength there, but I think they're pretty balanced there. And just, the only thing that scares me is Notre Dame's secondary. Like, I don't know, like, what's his damn name?
Yeah, Leonard Moore. He'll be back this week. Yeah, he should be back this week. He warmed up, and they said at game time during Arkansas it's just probably not worth it. So they didn't go with it. But there's guys starting to step up as these weeks go on and as he's missed time that are starting to fill out nicely. Like, they've been playing a couple freshmen that I've liked. Specifically not a corner, but a safety, Tay Johnson. They're turning into safety U. Like, honestly. I mean, you can go back to Julian Love carrying over into Kyle Hamilton. Now you see Xavier Watts in the running for probably Defensive Rookie of the Year when it's all said and done. And I think this guy's the next. He's big, like 6'3", 6'4", reminds me of Kyle Hamilton. And he's just going to continue to develop and be a playmaker. He just flies around all over the field.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, obviously with the difference between this year's Notre Dame team and last year's, like the defense was there last year. You weren't really sure what you were going to get with the offense. Like this year, it's reversed. Like you know the offense is there, you know what you're going to get with them. And I do believe in Marcus Freeman and just the Notre Dame program as a whole to figure out that defensive part. Not only because they need to, but they just have to. Like it's a non-negotiable. And like you said, guys are starting to step up. They're starting to figure out. They're starting to figure themselves out and start to get a little bit of an identity. They are 120th in the nation in pass defense, giving up 258 a game. It isn't great. We just talked about it, but I think that keeps getting better for them. I know Air Force is no slouch, but Air Force scored 37, I believe, on Boise, something along those lines. I can double check.
Yeah, and we also saw what USF did to them too to open the season. That was
just ran the ball down their throat.
Dominance.
And with the total being at 63.5, I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame gets close to that themselves. So I am going to take Notre Dame at the 19.5 or the 20.5, whatever it is now, just because they can flat out score. And I think the line might be a little skewed just because based on how Notre Dame's defense has played thus far, but I still think they cover that. They're playing angry. There's no funny business going on in that program right now. It's now or never. So they're going to get it done.
And it's a green out this week. Kind of my reasoning for the all green.
Hey, that stuff matters too.
I know, it's my favorite week of the year. I love these uniforms. That stadium always looks really good when the whole thing is greened out. So that'll be exciting. First matchup against Boise in program history too. So back-to-back weeks where it's a first in a series, if you will.
Yeah, and Boise's no slouch, obviously. Looking at them, they were in the playoff last year. Obviously had Ashton Genty, but I think it's a rough spot for them. They're not the same team as they were last year, and they're playing an angry Notre Dame team who they're at home. It's a green out. Stuff like that matters. And they're just hungry. So, yeah, I feel confident in taking them to cover again. They covered for me big last week. It's always good. It's always fucking good to put your money on something and really it be a no sweat. Like, you're like, okay, like I feel good. Like, I felt fine. You know I'm a guy, it's never over till it's over. I don't care what's going on, but I was sitting here in the second quarter. I felt pretty good.
I knew it was over at halftime. Jadarian Price scored a stupid touchdown. They got like a turnover with under a minute left, like right at midfield. And they threw him a screen pass, I think, just to try to get into field goal range. My God, I think he made probably 8 out of 11 guys on defense miss and just cut it back across the entire field and scored a touchdown. And I was at work, and I just started dying laughing. My manager even kind of bitched at me a little bit. I was fired up, though. But that's when I knew it was over. It was just miserable effort from Arkansas. I knew they were checked out. So
yeah, and when you texted me that, I had to go to work. I left after they scored that last touchdown in the second quarter with like a minute or so to go, and I actually went to the gas station, just got a snack and energy drink, and that's when you texted me and said that. And I figured Notre Dame's defense gave up a big play before halftime because their defense has been looking sus this year, but when I saw that's what happened, I was like, okay. Like, yeah, I can have this hour drive in peace.
Yeah, no, I'm expecting turnovers too, man. I think the turnovers are going to start coming for them. I can feel that starting to tip a little bit.
Well, good. We both agree on that. Notre Dame should take care of business. Obviously, they're going to win the game, or never say,
yeah, easy.
Yeah, see,
easy.
My fault.
Easy.
My bad. Obviously, they have a good chance of winning the game with them being at home and them being hungry, but I like them to cover as well. But we can move on to my team now, back in action. Michigan. I saw it at 16.5. I think it's up to 17.5 now at home against Wisconsin. Boy, Jaden Ballard out there with Wisconsin. Shout out to you. He'll be in the big house this week. Probably, I think it's his second time. I think they played second or third time. Second for sure. They played at Michigan his freshman year at Ohio State. His junior year at Michigan as well. So this is his third time. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But, I mean, Wisconsin does have the number one rush defense in the country. They haven't been able to be proud for a lot this year. But, I mean, having the number one rush defense in the nation is something to hang your hat on and be proud of. But Nebraska was fifth, and Michigan ran for damn near 300 yards on them. So it doesn't scare me at all. Wisconsin's number 1 in rush defense. Michigan's number 8 in rush offense. Obviously, they have a 1-2 punch with Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. Justice Haynes should be in the Heisman conversation, in my opinion. I don't think it's really me being biased at all. He's ran for over 100 yards and scored in every single game thus far. And with Wisconsin, their offense, they have a good rush defense. I don't think their secondary is great. But they don't even know who they want to play at quarterback. And when I read you these rankings offensively, you're going to be like, oh. They're 104th in the nation in passing offense, 110th in rushing, 108th in points, and 117th in yards.
Don't get it done in many situations, and I think we all saw that against Maryland.
Yeah, they couldn't score at home again. And Maryland's no slouch. I've always felt pretty highly about Maryland, but oh yeah, no, for sure. And Michigan, it's a home. I mean, they're coming off a bye. At home, it's homecoming, and like you said with the Notre Dame green out, it's a maize out for Michigan. Homecoming, the whole crowd's going to be wearing maize. I don't think 16.5, 17.5 is enough, to be honest, because I don't see Wisconsin scoring. I don't see them scoring. They might get one. They might get a field goal. They might score late, but it's going to be really hard for them with how their offense has struggled against a Michigan defense who's always solid, playing at home off a bye. Big noon kickoff's going to be there. It's homecoming. It's a maze out. The crowd, the environment's going to be crazy. Them being number 1 in the nation, stopping the run doesn't scare me either. You know how Michigan gets down. They're going to run it no matter what. And Bright, we got a quarterback now that can... I feel like the difference between now and maybe a spread being like this in years past, I kind of had game managers back there. J.J. McCarthy was not a game manager at all. But you just kind of were scared with these spreads because Michigan didn't care about covering. They didn't care about how many points they won by. They just cared about winning, and they cared about running the ball. But with the offense being dynamic now and Chip Lindsey being the offensive coordinator, I think points won't be an issue at all. Wisconsin's secondary, I don't feel great about them. Bryce is going to do what he does. He's going to pat some stats this week. The defense is going to show up, maybe score a touchdown like I wanted him to do a couple weeks ago. And the defense is going to be a problem for Wisconsin. I don't see them scoring, and I see Michigan scoring 30+. That's my take. Michigan covers the 17, 16, whatever you want the hell. It doesn't fucking matter. They're covering that shit.
Yeah, I'm probably going to piggyback on that and just take them to cover with ease, too. I don't see this being close. Watched a pretty good amount of the Wisconsin-Bama game. Yeah, Wisconsin's horrible. Tried to watch a little bit of the Maryland game. Decided to just turn that off immediately. And pretty much with what you said, Wisconsin being good against the run does nothing for me, especially going into the Big House against a team that, like we've already talked about, pops off 50-yard runs like it's just something common in the game of football. So no, that doesn't really do it for me. Underwood's probably going to get in on that a little bit too, spreading out the run, getting outside the tackles a little bit, and just helping open that up for Justice Haynes, because having that little 1-2 punch in the backfield, being able to do that is helpful. It's definitely helpful. I think that's shown too.
Yeah, I don't think we got to talk about that really anymore. I mean, I hate that every game's a big game, especially in conference play, in my opinion. Big noon kickoff's going to be there. It's going to be a great environment, but
when you can't even decide on a quarterback in week 6, and I mean, I understand.
They're hurt too.
Yes, I'm saying there's injuries, there's banged up. I get that, but you're going into the Big House against a guy that loves to blitz, and this is just like taking candy from a baby. In a situation like this, when it comes to blitzing at a quarterback who's just not prepared. So yeah, that's an easy Michigan cover for me, I think. That just has the recipe for it.
Yeah, I think they're playing like a great value Iowa team from years past. Like the defense, and Iowa's defense is solid, but Wisconsin's defense, one half their defense is good. I don't know about the secondary. But yeah, I think, and I'll be pissed off if Michigan doesn't cover, because I'm in the same boat as you are with Notre Dame. We already dropped one Oklahoma. Our schedule that looked easier at the beginning of the year isn't looking so easy now, with Washington being a lot better than expected. Well, Washington's a lot better. USC's 7:30 NBC, so that's obviously a big one. Maryland right before Ohio State doesn't always scares me. It's just the sense of urgency has to be high, but off the bye with Jay-Sean Barham coming off the edge, I like our odds.
That's still a relatively easy-ish.
Yeah, no. I mean, we don't got to play Oregon. We don't got to play Penn State. No Illinois.
Games on there. I mean, I understand getting USC and Washington back-to-back, I guess, isn't ideal. But at least they're not both on the road. That's one thing to look at.
Yeah.
I'll have to go
the
over
USC being a night game. night, or it'll be daytime over there, I guess.
Yeah, 4:30,
Yeah.
3:30.
4:30, buddy.
Yeah.
But we got 4 more games to go over. We can go in any order here. I'll let you pick off, or you can pick what game we cover next. I know some of these are tough. We talked about this before. Some of these are real tough, and I'm on the fence with them. But
Yeah, we'll just go to the gritty one. Iowa State and Cincinnati. That's just classic Big 12 ball. And I think the public is just going to hammer Iowa State here. And I love that they're going to do that. Love that they're going to do that because I'm taking fucking Cincy to cover the -1.5. They play great at the nip. And yeah, like I said, this is just Big 12 ball. I don't think Cincinnati's better than Iowa State. But like I said, home field advantage. I saw Cincinnati do ridiculous things to Kansas last week on the road and ruin my bet. So,
yeah, I think Cincinnati's a lot better than people give them credit for. And I think if they had a different game plan against Nebraska in week 1 and just really try to be who they are and run the ball, it might be a little different conversation we're having right now with them being 4-0 or whatever. But this reminds me of just this past week with Ole Miss and LSU, with Ole Miss being the lower ranked team, being at home and being a 1.5 point favorite. And you're kind of like, I think both of us did it, or easy. It's easy to pick LSU. And I'm not going to fall for the same trick twice. And if we get beat on it, we get beat on it. But I also like Cincinnati. Like I said, I think they're better than what many people think, just because, I don't know, it's so early. They're 3-1, but I just think they're better than what a lot of people are giving them credit for. Iowa State hasn't started 6-0 since 1938. They're 5-0 right now. So they haven't started 6-0 in 88 years. I don't see that happening now. But I do love Iowa State, too. I didn't bet against them. Well, I guess I kind of did, but last week against Arizona, I thought Arizona was going to show up a lot more than they did. Fuck them. This is a tough one, too. I think it's going to be a really good game. But I'm going to have to roll with the home team. I'm not going to make that same mistake. Like, if this was at Iowa State, we're having a completely different conversation. But with Cincinnati coming off that big win at Kansas, kind of figuring out who they are.
You want to talk about a big win, too. Just kicking me while I'm down. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us had great weeks.
Kansas ran the ball in with about 1:15 left to take the lead and gave the ball back to Cincinnati with one timeout. They just couldn't allow a touchdown. They were up by, I think, 4, couldn't allow a touchdown, whatever the situation was. Cincinnati marches the entire way down the field, 80 yards, scores a touchdown, and wins.
Yeah, this game is also totals 55.5, so there's going to be some points put up. But yeah, I just think this is one of the toughest games I've personally had to make a decision on thus far this year, and it's fucking hard because obviously
corners.
Iowa State's good.
Yeah, I see both corners for Iowa State's out, which is not ideal. Cincinnati does kind of lean into the passing game a little bit more nowadays.
That quarterback can run too. He had like 100 yards on the ground against Nebraska week 1. He can move.
Which also isn't great. You got young corners out there who aren't ready to tackle, and you got your quarterback just running all around them.
Yeah, I just think this line they're favored for a reason, just like how Ole Miss was favored for a reason. It's going to be a great game. It's going to come down to the end. I do think it can go either way, but yeah, I'm going to roll Cincinnati.
Yeah, I also recall a decent Iowa State team coming to play in Athens while I was in college and getting beat as well. So I don't buy into the whole Iowa State stock immediately as fast as everybody else does. I need to see some more.
That's fair. Well, moving on we'll go to Vanderbilt at Alabama. College game day is going to be there in Tuscaloosa. Alabama coming off, obviously, a really good win at Georgia last week. Well, you say interesting choice for game day to be there?
Yeah.
Where do you think they should have been?
I don't know. I guess this is kind of a slow week for big games. I'd have maybe rather seen Miami and Florida State just due to kind of in-state rivalry.
Yeah, but anyways, I'll go ahead and start this one off. Yes, Vanderbilt. It's crazy how we're talking about college game day being at a Vanderbilt game, and yeah, I know they're playing Alabama, but they're also a big reason why they're there. Their quarterback, I like him, dual threat guy. Obviously beat them last year. I don't think Alabama took him serious last year, so I'm not going to keep y'all forever talking about this, but I don't think Alabama took them serious last year. That's why they got beat on the road. I think that's a whole different story now. Vanderbilt's obviously for real. You have to take them serious. The line right now is only 10.5. It's going to be a great environment. I also love what I saw at Alabama's quarterback. I didn't know he was that good. He was making all the throws. He didn't make a mistake, it looked like, and he can run. So I'm going to take Alabama to win by 2 touchdowns here. I think it's definitely going to be a close game, but maybe a little backdoor cover at the end. But I feel it's Alabama's just, I'm just feeling that shit right now. I don't know. Roll fucking
physical.
Tide.
They
look good.
Physical last Saturday. I think getting Jam Miller back was big for them. He was running the ball hard.
Yeah.
This is probably the toughest one for me, just because Vanderbilt's not going to be scared per se. But I don't like a team walking into Bryant Denny, especially Alabama coming off that win last week. You know their fans are going to be all bought back in now. My goodness, I'll probably just go with the Vandy taking the points. If you can get them 10.5, I would. Anything under that, probably stay away. But I think they can, like you said, maybe backdoor cover, late touchdown, something like that. I do like the quarterback. He's gritty. But, yeah, I think Bama's catching their stride a little bit. Quarterback is better than people expected, maybe as advertised. And then Ryan Williams. If he can just figure out how to catch the easy ones, they'll be in good shape.
What the fuck's he doing, dude?
They'll be in good shape if he can just catch the easy ones. And I feel like that's a pretty easy problem to fix. So they'll be all right with that.
Yeah. But that's why I like him to cover, too. I don't think they're taking anything lightly. They already have a loss under their belt. Yes, they beat Georgia, but that's what they've always done. Obviously now Kirby Smart's 1-7 against Alabama, so like them beating Georgia last week. All right, now we got another big one, College game day coming to town. Vanderbilt, little get back game from last year. Let's beat them and kick them while they're down, and that's what I think they do. I'm going to take Alabama to cover.
Do you think they just overlooked Florida State in that Week 1 game too? Do you think
No,
they
did
have
for
a
sure.
problem with
Yes.
overlooking?
And it woke them up.
Because, dude, like I said, I watched them play Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not a good measuring stick. And then obviously watched the whole Georgia game. They look like a completely different team. Physicality-wise, quickness-wise, just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's fucking Alabama.
It's
No Nick Saban, but
a 180 turn from what we saw in that first game.
yeah. And I like I told you last week on the pod, I really wanted to take them against Georgia. I really did, but I watched that whole Georgia-Tennessee game. I loved what I saw out of Georgia. Then being at home, I thought they finally got over the hump. Well, you didn't love it, and you still took Georgia. What the fuck are you doing, bud?
Well, no, I'm saying I really didn't want to take Alabama. I was in love with Georgia all day, man. At home.
Yeah, no. I am not.
God.
I'm not with you
I
there.
didn't think Stockton.
Yeah, well, and then that's why that's why I love this week. I can't go against them again. And with them losing to him last year, I know Vanderbilt's quarterback has a little mouth on him. He's been talking shit. Or Vanderbilt's quarterback, I think.
Yeah, that'll come back to bite you at some point, though, and I'm afraid this week might be it. But I'm riding that plus 10.5.
Fuck that.
If you see it switch on the card, don't say nothing.
I'm not riding that shit. But we'll move on to Texas at Florida. I'll let you start with this one. This was looked at beginning of the year. You look at the schedule, you're like, whoa, look at this. But now it's like, what the shit? So let me hear it.
I'm doing it to myself again. I did it 2 weeks ago. Riding with DJ Lagway, and I'm going to do it again.
Hey, me too. Fuck it. I'm just gonna say it now. That son of a bitch. But yeah, go ahead. Shit.
Keep in mind, this is not betting advice.
Yeah.
This is not, I don't know, it's not financial advice. This is not advised to do, I guess, betting on DJ Lagway. But I don't know, man. Everything with Arch this year has just looked off. I'm not confident in it. I don't know if they can run the ball. If there's one thing I think Florida does, it's get a push up front. You saw that against Miami, I feel like, in the first half. It was a pretty slow game to start, and it was because they were setting the tone up front. So I don't know, man. I think they're at home. They get a chance to kind of, shit on Texas in their season, give them their second loss, embarrass Arch a little bit. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's just a pretty trappy spot for the Longhorns here.
Hey, dude, I'm with you. I'm glad you did say that because, I mean, obviously I took Florida against, again, LSU, and I just needed him to cover a touchdown, and Lagway, he threw as many picks as a damn touchdown counts for in points. It felt like, I'm like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, I don't feel great about Texas. I've said that all year. It feels like a weird spot, and it's just, I swear to God, I think they might win. I think Florida might just F around and win. I might throw a little parlay of Florida winning. I don't know. I'm definitely going to take them to. There's something, when you feel something, and it's like, oh, that's why I'm still not mad that I lost the bet when Notre Dame lost to A&M. I just had a feeling like I was making the right choice no matter what, and I knew my mind would never change. I wouldn't get that hindsight 2020. I still would have been like, I just think this is Florida's spot. It's just weird. They're 1-3.
I know.
They're just
They
like
play
it's just,
such a
it's
tough
weird.
schedule that you know they're gonna pick off one of these wins.
Yeah,
Like, you know they're gonna pick off one of these teams and they're gonna win a game. And I'm trying to snipe that spot where they're at home, and I think it's a good situation for them to do. Obviously,
and I'll
Miami's
take them to
just
cover.
obviously Miami's has advertised, so that wasn't maybe the smartest thing to do. But I don't know if Texas is. I don't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
if Texas is.
And I don't either. Arch, yeah, I don't know. I'm rolling with Florida. I'm definitely going to take the spread, though. That's definitely going to be a play that I take with my own personal money. Just because I feel it, man. I fucking feel it. Come on, DJ. If you're listening, you're not listening. But if you were, please, for the love of God, I'm giving you another chance.
Imagine how sharp we would look if we made Florida plus 6.5 our pick of the week and it smacked.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. I don't know about all that, big fella.
We will not be doing that. Like I said, this is just
I don't
a
know. I
ballsy
love them.
pick.
I love them to cover. Texas can play some defense. We know that. But as far as offense, as far as their quarterback, their strength of schedule, Florida's been tested. I don't know. Give me Florida plus 6.5. Fuck you! But the last game on the schedule, where you think College Game Day should be, at Florida State. Florida State coming off a bad loss. I needed them to fucking lost a parlay on them now. I wanted to take Virginia. I ended up just settling for the Florida State money line, and we all know they didn't win the damn game. Who do you like here? It's 4.5 point spread. It just seems. This is also a weird one. I don't know. This is a weird week, but let me hear it.
Yeah, I mean it's a tricky one. I think the public's going to be heavy on Miami in this one too, but I'll probably ride with the public on that. Take the minus 4.5. I don't know. I watched a lot of that Florida State and Virginia game last week, and I wasn't very impressed with Florida State. I think their offense is good, but I feel like every time they would do something, their defense would go out there and just give it right back up. And that's definitely not going to fly against Miami. I mean, they'll wear you out. They're going to be bigger up front on both sides. They're going to have the better quarterback, that's for sure. And then better playmakers, too. So I just don't know if they're better than, or I don't know if Florida State's better than Miami really anywhere. And Squirrel White might be dead after that field rush. I don't know if he walked out of that stadium. Oh, my God. So there's a playmaker
that stuff
gone.
No, I think he's fine,
he's
but
fine.
that stuff
I'm
is
just
scary
kidding.
to watch. I don't like that stuff. Even though I get it, like it's college football, but like shit.
Yeah, it was the greatest field rush ever, but probably the one that should end all field rushes.
Yeah, that was hard to watch. I was watching it live. I was like, man, you just got to feel bad for him. Like he's sitting on the ground and
Here
these
comes
drunk
10,000 people.
kids. Yeah, I don't like that stuff, but whatever. I'm actually going to take Florida State to cover. With it being at home, being a night game, I do like them this year. Obviously, what they did to Alabama, I think they still beat Alabama, not just because Alabama wasn't taking them serious, but Florida State's good. Last week at Virginia, obviously, a short week on the road, conference game can always be tough. Obviously, they should have won that game. There's no excuses, but... And with this being Miami's first road test, like you never know. Yes, I think they're good. I think they're the real deal, but with them making their first road... Playing their first road game in the hostile environment, like going to Tallahassee, big fella, at night... You can do that all you want, but you know that shit's not a walk in the park. I'm not sitting over here saying Florida State's going to win, but 4.5 seems like a lot. I feel like it comes down to the wire. Miami isn't just going to keep squeaking by or just keep beating the shit out of these teams. They're going to have to squeak one out, and I think this is when they squeak one out, but I don't think it's by more than 4. So I'm going to take Florida State.
That's fair. And week 1, when we did our little recap, I was talking about a receiver from Miami, the dude that reclassified and should be a senior in high school this year. His name's Malachi Tony. I definitely got to give him a little spotlight after I sold week 1. But, I mean, honestly, I only said that because that's kind of a big reason I like them to win is because this dude is just unreal. Anywhere you put him on the field, he can play outside, he can play in the slot. Kid's like 17 or he just turned 18. It's insane.
Yeah, no, they're good. And they're also good on defense, too. Like they're the real deal. But like I said, I don't know about teams before they played a road game. It's hard. It's fucking hard. It may be cliche, but it's hard to go on the road. That's why I give Oregon a lot of props for obviously winning last week at Penn State. You don't see no blowouts. I don't think they're going to go in there and blow them out. They might win the game handily, but I think it's... What's the total for this game? Yeah, it's 53.5. I don't know. 27-24. Like, it's going to
Yeah.
be somewhere in there.
I would.
Florida State has a real sense of urgency right now. That's a bad, embarrassing loss on the road to start conference play. They're going to be giving it everything they got like they should have before, but now they have a little extra fuel to the fire. So I took them last week. I'm going to roll with them again, just like I did with Illinois. Back-to-back weeks, and second week paid off.
That is fair. That is fair. I know we didn't. I don't know. I feel like we didn't get much love with that Illinois pick. Cam commented on the Instagram, and then I got a call from one of my other friends asking about why would we take Illinois. They did their job, so.
Yeah, I'm going to go check that. I'll check that after. But yeah, that should be it, man. Our picks are in. I'm 15-12. The shit's hard. He's 11-11. Not in the red. Neither of us are in the red. So, and if anyone thinks they can do better than us, fucking do it. And if you're not going to do it, shut the fuck up. No, I'm just playing.
I'm 500 out here betting on DJ Lagway. Maybe I should start taking this more seriously.
Well, I'm a little higher than 500, but I've put DJ Lagway in my slips a couple times. But anyways, yeah, picks will be up on the Instagram. College football today. This will be out Thursday. I always mess this up. NFL will be out Friday.
Yeah. We actually have to get NFL out.
Did we not get it out last week?
It did not go out last week. You did indeed send it to me. Things got busy that night.
Boy.
Football was on. We'll get it out this week.
Shit happens, man. Be better, goddammit. But yes, this will be out tomorrow. Pick of the week will be out on the socials. We're 2 in a row. We are both 2 in a row with pick of the week. We're hot. So if you see that pick of the week and you like it, sprinkle on it because you might make a couple extra dollars to buy a couple extra beers on Saturday night. You never know. But that's it, brother. Good luck. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Go Irish.